Who is Ali Abdaal?
It's Ali, and I'm a YouTuber, podcaster, and writer based in London. In a previous life, I studied medicine at Cambridge University, worked as a doctor in the UK's National Health Service for 2 years, but recently quit to do this YouTube thing full time, which was a bit weird. Anyway.
One of the number one questions on Google is how to become successful. But we often overlook something critical. The world has drastically changed in the last couple of years, right? Decades even. When we actually think about it, right? The creator economy has truly changed the scope of the world. It's changed how we look at things. It's changed how we do things. It's taken ordinary Joes into multi-millionaires. Some of the biggest multi-millionaires, right, started on YouTube. We look at those people and we think to ourselves, what makes them different? Why do we subscribe to their channels? Why do we love following their success stories? Do we love listening to them? They're not like your typical gurus that you had 2 decades ago, right? These are ordinary people who you can relate to. And that was what brought me to this idea. The Making Bank with YouTube series, showcasing people, incredible people, right? Regardless of what niche they are on YouTube, doing incredible things, following their passions, following their dreams, and how it drastically changed their life. If you want to be notified, right, any video that's coming up in the series, please like and subscribe so that you're always notified whenever a new video comes out. Now, today is all about Ali Abdaal. Now, all you have to do, right, is go on the internet and Google Ali Abdaal. Who is Ali Abdaal? And you'll find dozens of articles about him. But who exactly is he? Ali Abdaal only came literally on the surface in 2017. Unlike most people who started the YouTube game pretty much later on. And his goal was not to become a YouTuber, to become a doctor. You see, something changed for Ali in 2017. He uploaded his first video, helping medical students get into a school like Oxford or Cambridge, how they can actually pass the examinations. Ali didn't think much of it. He didn't think his life was going to go from being a doctor to a YouTuber to an entrepreneur, but something drastically changed in the 2 years. Ali realized that people loved watching his videos. And Ali went from being literally an unknown person to being literally one of the most popular YouTube influencers. Why exactly is it that a lot of people like watching Ali? And also what we can learn from Ali as well, because as our goal is to become successful, is to follow that pathless life, right? It's always important for us to look at people who've done it. Because if you want to change your life, you always have to follow people who have done it, who were where you were years ago, right? Because at the end of the day, they all had a dream, they all had a goal, right? And the difference here, right, between Ali and a lot of us is Ali didn't give up. And he is a perfect case study to talk about. I'm gonna go into the first one, the 100% tool. All you have to do is watch Ali's videos to realize there's something different about him. For one thing, his videos are always different. Another thing is, he tells things like a story from the perspective of a person trying to look in. Whether you're watching something on how to make money online, or what makes people successful, or the unfair advantage, or even videos about side hustles and how to make money on YouTube. There's a relatability aspect to it. But more than that, right, if you peel the surface, he always puts 100% in with whatever he does. Makes you lean forward because you want to learn more. You're captivated by the scenes that are right in front of you. It's almost like reading a book or watching a movie. Imagine you're in a cinema and you're watching your favorite movie, or it's not yet your favorite movie, but you're watching it and you're engrossed with every line of dialogue, every scene, right? Every word. Instead of looking away, you look forward, you lean forward because it's thrilling to watch. That's what Ali does. He manages to hook people in because he puts 100% of himself in whatever he's doing. The creativity aspect, which I spoke about briefly in the first one. He uses a lot of things, not only just B-roll, but cinematography. He also puts himself up for display. And it's almost as if you're there, right? Sitting alongside him, watching alongside him, talking to him, looking at how he emotes certain things, right? And that makes you interested in who Ali is. Now, I would say that these two factors are pretty much what made Ali extremely popular. His creativity, the fact that he is personable and relatable, the fact that he puts so much effort in every single video he does. And this is something that every person who wants to be successful needs to learn. How to always put 100% in, right? Even if we don't know what the outcome is going to be. Ali did not know in 2017 that he was going to become a millionaire through YouTube. He had no idea, but that did not stop him from constantly learning. And this is the third thing that we go into: path versus career. So there is a difference, right? When we grow up in our mind, right? What we want to be, who we want to become, what we want to achieve, where we want to go. And this is the career that we've set in motion. There is a difference between a path, because a career is something that you're pushed along, like, it's like you're a buoy in the water and the water is just pushing you along. The path is something you have to take up on yourself. You have to decide, this is the job I want, this is where I want to go. And this is what Ali did. Like a lot of us, right? He had a choice. It was either he followed the career that he'd been working towards, or he followed his path. Because when you look at it, he decided he was going to forge his own path. He was going to go on his own way. And a lot of us are scared of that because we're wondering, what if I fail? What if it doesn't end well? What if all of it is for nothing? What if, there's always these what ifs that come in mind. What if? It was either that he was going to give up on YouTube, because it's not as if the first year on YouTube was easy for him. He had to keep pressing on. He had to keep going. It's not as if he got millions of views on videos. No one is born successful. No one is born knowing certain things. You've got to learn. And that's what Ali did. He kept learning and kept learning. And this goes to the next point. Skills are transferable. Think about it like this. You go, to high school, right? You graduate from high school. You've got, certain skills. And then you even have an idea of what you want to do when you go to college. You go to college, right? You graduate. And most people who are doctors, when you look at the skills that they have, often we think that it's not transferable to something like the creator economy, because in our mind, right, we would never think of it like that a doctor would become a YouTuber, because there's a difference. It's not like Ali went from being a doctor to going to be a doctor and actually teach people on how to treat certain things, or talk about, give people medical advice, like Dr. Mike. There are a lot of people on YouTube who do that, but he took it one step further and gave entrepreneurship advice, how to make money online. Those things are so different than what is required when you're a medical practitioner. And a lot of us think that, no skills are transferable. But here's the caveat, right? Every skill is transferable, because Ali, like a lot of people who might not have been actually tech savvy, he might have to have learned how to be tech savvy. And a lot of us, we struggle with that notion that I'm not tech savvy. How can I be a YouTuber? How can I start a blog? How can I do this? But when you look at Ali and all the stuff he's done, you realize that it's all to do with your mindset and how you set your mind right. Because going from being a doctor to teaching people productivity, entrepreneurship, how to make money online, reading books and giving advice, talking points of what he learned from what he read, is a completely different thing. So there's a lot to be learned when you look at that. Another thing is, and this is a key element, I call it the learning kit. Basically, the learning kit is this thing where when you're not learning, right, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. A lot of us have to keep learning things, and we have to keep learning skills. If we don't know something, we've got to learn. And Ali is an interesting person to watch, because he went from being a nobody to not having a lot of views to being someone who has 4 million views. His journey from success is incredible. And one of the things that you learn from watching his videos is Ali's always reading. Ali's always learning. Ali is always improving on himself. Regardless of how much money he has, he's constantly learning and he's constantly figuring out, what he doesn't know. And a lot of us are scared to learn. As a person who wasn't really much of a learner, I get it. Learning is terrifying. Learning can make you feel as if you were back in school. And who wants that? I mean, we graduated from high school a while ago. Why do we want to go back to high school? But in this lifetime, you gotta learn. Because when you learn, you improve. And you have to be humble enough to know what you don't know and then learn on it. And the more you read, and I know nonfiction books can be taxing, right? You need a lot of time and energy to read through them, but there's so much you can learn from it. And the more you learn, the more you improve, and the easier life becomes for you, because you're not stuck, right, in this box. You're not stuck in this box that you can't escape, because that box was set in motion when you graduated from high school. You can break out of that box. You can break out of the mundane life, the 9 to 5, the typical life that everyone thinks we should have. Because we are not created to be typical. We are all created to be extraordinary, because we all have gifts. And this is our opportunity. The great economy is an opportunity to learn how to harness those gifts. And the last one is the happiness button. I read a story a couple of years ago, and it literally changed my life in a lot of ways. This man went to a Japanese island where he heard that people lived up to 100 years old. And he wondered, why is it that on this particular island, more people live to 100 years old? And what he discovered was breathtaking. He discovered most people on that island subscribe to a Japanese concept called ikigai. Now, if you're new to what this concept of ikigai means, it basically goes further than your why, your how, your what. That Simon Sinek did a couple of years ago, where you all need to find what your why is for life, your purpose, right? Your greater purpose. So ikigai goes and says, find out what you love. Find out what's going to make the world a better place. Find out what you're going to get paid for, right? And find out what you're good at. And when you combine all this together, it comes into harmony and becomes ikigai. And this is what, Ali teaches often in his videos, the ikigai concept. Find out what your purpose in life is. But not only just that, right? Find out what's going to make you money and run with that. And what's going to make the world a better place as well. So, yeah. But these are a few things that I've learned from watching Ali Abdaal's videos. Of course, there's a lot more to it, and there's a lot more nuances to it. And it all comes down to what you can learn from it. Becoming successful is a journey. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. And it's always important to follow people who have been where you want to go, who are doing great with what they have, and just following their line of success. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs and subscribe if you haven't, so that you're notified whenever the next video comes out. And I'm telling you, the next video is going to be amazing. So it's also going to be I'm still sticking within this series. So keep watching and keep subscribing and keep learning and never give up.